Many influential financial experts are warning about a possible financial crisis. But recessions are a normal part of the economic cycle, not uncommon in the history of the United States. Before the Federal Reserve was established, recessions were more frequent, occurring every few years after a period of economic growth. However, with the Fed's intervention, longer economic expansions became the norm, breaking records of over 10 years without a recession. It seems like we might have reached a point where relying solely on the Fed's policies to avoid recessions might not work as effectively. So how can you prepare for the next recession and come out financially stronger? Hello, and welcome back to Tides of Wealth, where you are just one sale away from reaching financial success. All right, let's get right in. Never abandon the cash. When tough times arrive, having cash is like having a safety net. Even wealthy individuals, like Warren Buffett, prioritize keeping cash reserves during economic uncertainties. To prepare for a recession, start by cutting down on unnecessary spending. Small expenses add up, especially with prices rising due to inflation and supply chain issues making things more expensive. Saving money becomes crucial during these uncertain times. You don't have to be a financial expert. Being smart with your money is the key to maintaining financial stability. Warren Buffett emphasizes the importance of having cash set aside, not just for emergencies, but also to take advantage of opportunities during market shifts. His company, Berkshire Hathaway, keeps over $20 billion in cash reserves for unforeseen events. Buffett compares cash to oxygen during crises, saying it's essential when needed. Creating an emergency fund is vital. Estimate your essential expenses for 3 to 6 months, including food, mortgages, and utilities. Set up a separate emergency account and commit to using it only for genuine emergencies. It's not an investment, but a safety net for your family, as financial expert Dave Ramsey points out. When to use this fund is straightforward, for urgent, unexpected expenses that can't be covered from your regular budget. Building this fund might be tough, but by evaluating spending habits, steady saving can create a reliable financial safety net. If a recession hits and you have a massive emergency fund, then you're likely to not panic sell your stocks for a loss. In fact, you might even be able to use that money to buy stocks of companies you know are underrated at the moment. Oh, and while cash is extremely important, the asset that we're going to talk about at the end of the video might be even more important, so make sure to stay tuned. And that brings us to the next point. Invest in liquid businesses. During tough financial times, businesses often struggle or may even shut down. This puts a strain on employees who have their own financial responsibilities. Remember the 2008 economic crisis when major companies like General Motors, Chrysler, and AIG faced bankruptcy and needed help to stay afloat? When investing, it's wise to choose businesses that have some extra cash saved. Think of it as a financial cushion for challenging times. Companies like Apple and Microsoft usually maintain substantial reserves, even when prices rise. They prefer having extra cash and accepting some losses due to rising prices rather than risk running short during a recession. You can check a company's financial strength by reviewing its financial reports, especially the balance sheet. This helps you judge if they have enough cash to withstand tough times. However, not all companies will have as much extra cash as big names like Apple or Microsoft. And remember, a recession can also be an opportunity. Companies with strong financial reserves may thrive during downturns, making them potentially smart investments. However, if a business is struggling, then stay away from it. Warren Buffett avoids investing in struggling businesses even if they seem like good deals. He focuses on buying wonderful companies at fair prices rather than struggling or mediocre companies at very low prices. And by the way, if you're enjoying everything in this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you could just like and hit the subscribe button. The next thing you need to know is that a recession is actually an opportunity. Even though a recession might seem like a tough time to start a business, it can actually be an opportunity. When big companies face challenges during economic downturns, startups often find room to shine. Take WhatsApp, which launched in 2009 during a crisis and was later bought by Facebook for $19 billion. Uber, too, began in 2009 and is now valued at nearly $50 billion, despite not making huge profits yet. There are numerous success stories like Pinterest, Venmo, Slack, Square, and Bitcoin, which emerged after the 2008 financial crisis. Bitcoin itself created a new industry, making many millionaires and billionaires through platforms like Coinbase, Binance, and Gemini. Even Tesla, which almost went bankrupt during the crisis, not only survived but became a major player in the car industry. It's not just about starting businesses. Tough times can also be an opportunity to advance your career. Stepping up at work during difficult periods often leads to quicker career growth. Many junior managers got promoted during the last crisis, showcasing that tough times can offer chances for professional advancement. Don't cash out. It's easy to feel patient when investments are growing. For instance, if you bought Bitcoin at $1,000 and saw its value skyrocket, it's natural to feel excited. But the opposite often happens in a bear market. Many panic and sell, fearing the worst. However, history shows that markets endure tough times. They've survived the Great Depression, World War II, numerous recessions, and wars like Vietnam and Iraq. The investors who tend to profit are those who either sold before a crash, which is really hard to time, or held onto their investments until the crisis passed and stocks began growing again during the recovery period. So while it might be tempting to sell during tough times, staying patient often pays off in the long run. Now, the next thing might shock you. Take advantage of the gig economy. During a recession, traditional job markets can get tough, but the gig economy, where short-term freelance work is common, often thrives. You can join this trend by offering your skills and services online, whether you're into writing, graphic design, web development, voiceovers, or have expertise in other areas. There's a demand for freelancers across various fields. You don't have to be an expert to start making money online. Begin by offering your service at a lower price and gradually increase it. Skills remain in demand even during tough times. Companies and individuals look for cost-effective, on-demand solutions. Joining the gig economy not only helps you earn income, but also diversifies your sources of money, which is crucial during economic downturns. It turns your skills into a reliable income while giving you flexibility in a changing job market. Explore freelance platforms like Fiverr and Upwork to find opportunities that suit your skills and interests. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about might sound obvious, but it's extremely difficult to follow. Don't go into debt. During a recession, if you are not prepared, you might face a tough financial situation. Many people end up in debt when they can't cover their basic needs. When a recession happens due to financial bubbles or inflation, the Federal Reserve might raise interest rates to slow things down. This means borrowing money becomes more expensive. For example, in 2007, during the housing bubble, the Fed raised rates to 5.25%. This meant higher rates for consumers like us. Similarly, in 2000, during the dot-com bubble, rates went up to 6.5%. Recessions tend to widen the gap between the rich and the poor. Poorer individuals might struggle to save money, leading them to borrow during tough times, just to afford essential necessities like buying food. Meanwhile, the rich usually have more cash to spare and don't need to rely on borrowing during recessions. This difference can deepen financial disparities between different groups of people. Creating new debt every month just keeps the cycle of owing money going. Credit cards might seem like a safety net, but they often only add to the ongoing debt. Some think that having multiple credit cards are essential, but relying on them can make it hard to manage money without getting deeper into debt. Cutting up your credit cards can actually break this cycle. It gives you the power to handle your finances without leaning on debt. While this sounds a bit too extreme, many people have found it liberating. It helps them move forward without the weight of continuous debt. The last thing you need to do in order to get rich during the 2024 recession is to consider buying precious metals. When the economy gets shaky, think about investing in precious metals like gold and silver. These metals tend to hold their value when other investments struggle. You can invest in them by buying actual gold or silver items or through related options like ETFs or stocks of mining companies. But it's better to buy physical metals instead of ETFs. You see, what makes these metals appealing during tough times is their inherent value. Gold, for instance, is scarce and requires effort to mine, which naturally gives it value. It isn't as reliant on economic fluctuations as some other investments. People often view gold and silver as a safe way to protect their wealth when traditional investments seem uncertain. Another perk is their global appeal. These metals aren't tied to the economic situation of just one country, making them a good choice during a worldwide economic downturn. So when things seem uncertain, many investors turn to gold and silver to safeguard their money. For centuries, people have trusted precious metals like gold and silver to protect their wealth. While these metals were once used as currency, their rarity now makes them too valuable for everyday transactions. In recent years, governments have been printing money and accumulating significant debt, causing asset bubbles in various markets like stocks, properties, and currencies. When these bubbles burst and assets lose value, investors seek ways to preserve their wealth. Central banks globally have been buying huge amounts of physical gold, marking the largest gold buying spree in modern history. This shows how gold is seen as a crucial asset, even being classified as Tier 1 within the global financial system by the Bank of International Settlements. Investing in precious metals, managed actively and diversified, presents an opportunity not only for protection during tough economic times, but also for substantial returns. Oh, and it's not just gold. Platinum, palladium, and rhodium, known as the PGM group metals, have growing significance due to their role in environmental initiatives. They're crucial for reducing pollution, especially in vehicles, and their demand remains high as environmental regulations tighten globally. When managed together in a diverse portfolio, these precious metals offer investors the chance to create resilient portfolios that can thrive regardless of economic conditions, delivering consistent and significant returns. Thank you for watching this video on 7 things you must do to get rich during the 2024 recession. Let us know in the comments what you think is the best way to profit from a recession. See you next time.